Everybody, long time no see. How has everybody's day been? Drop a comment down below. My day has been kind of eventful, kind of boring. I've been running a lot of errands today. I finally got contacts this week, so I'm able to see everything. Thank God. If you have 20/20 vision, I am so jealous of you. I leave for Florida in 2 days. I have a lot of work to do tonight. It is currently like 2 in the morning. I tried waxing my legs today. I'm just gonna roll the clip.
I am trying to wax her
I'm nervous.
legs.
I'm nervous.
I let her do a small part of my ankle, and now she's trying not to let me do it. Alright, she said she finally let me do it. We'll see.
Yeah.
3. Can I do another one? No. Yeah, you might get that video.
He went to pull the fucking wax strip off and asked me to record. These are temporary veneers, just if you guys are wondering. And he fucking punched the phone in my face. Wow.
Good news is I got a good bit. Bad news is it doesn't look like I'm gonna be allowed to do it yet.
I also got my nails done. I think they look pretty cute. Okay guys, so before we get into today's video, I would like to give a huge shout out to ZC for sponsoring today's video. They were kind enough to send me a bunch of makeup products that I am actually wearing right now and that I will be using in today's video. So before I show you guys the products, I would like to tell you a little bit of information about the brand. So first and foremost, the only way that you can purchase these products is if you go on their website, which I'll have linked down below, and you can also purchase them on Amazon. At least those are the only websites that I saw that you guys could purchase these products from. I wouldn't really trust a lot of other websites because you don't really know if you're getting the real product or not. They are a company based in China, and my favorite thing about ZC, their makeup products belong to the category of ordinary cosmetics. Now, if you don't know what that means that they are not legally required to be tested on animals under China's laws, which I am 100% a fan of that. They said that they have never tested on animals and they do not plan on doing so in the future. Alright, so let's get into some of the products that they sent me. So the first thing that I'm going to be showing you guys is the eyeshadow palettes. I am absolutely in love. All of my eyeshadow palettes are in storage right now, and I have a feeling that I'm not going to have to get any of them out because these will all let me create so many different makeup looks for you guys. So this is the first eyeshadow palette. I'm actually currently wearing this one right now. Every single one of their eyeshadow palettes comes with some really pretty design on it, and it's like textured so you can literally feel like the outline of the design. This is another one of their palettes. Now, the packaging on this eyeshadow palette is literally to die for. I love this. Like, I would love to use like these eyeshadows to kind of not recreate this because I could definitely never do this, but like almost make it match the palette. Okay, so here is the powder that they sent me, and I am in love with this. You open it up, it's literally magnetic, and it has this little puff in here, and when you take it out, there's mesh right there. So your powder isn't just like going everywhere, you're never getting too much on there, and all you have to do is pat this against there for the powder to come out. Now, to be honest, even if I wasn't even using these products, these would be products that I would have out on my vanity, just because I like the old antique look. Like, it's just very classy, definitely aesthetically pleasing. So here is the blush that they sent me. Now, I do know that they had come out with an Alice in Wonderland collection, and I'm not sure if this was a part of it, but it looks like it could be because it looks like a little watch. And then I got 3 lipsticks, and all of them have a dragon wrapping around the top. Very aesthetically pleasing, again. Then I got this darker color and this beautiful bright red color. I never wear reds, so I don't know if I'm gonna like this, but I'm super excited to try it. If you guys are interested in any of these products, I will link their website down below. Also, don't forget to use code Kaylee20 for 20% off their whole website. Let's get into today's story time. So I'm going to bring you guys up close. There we go. Okay, so today's story time was sent in by an anonymous user. For most of the video, I will be looking in this direction direction because my mirror is over here and I would like to see what I'm doing. And I do tell these story times in a first person point of view, so if you don't like that, then leave. Alright, so story time about the girl who posted all of my secrets onto social media. Just like a quick little thing, while I was reading her submission, I realized that the story time reminds me of the one scene in Grand Army where I forget his name, but somebody had got a hold of his essay and posted it and kind of outed him to the whole school. I mean, this is really nothing like that, but it kind of has the same context, like where her stuff was posted onto social media. So a little background information. So this all happened my sophomore year of high school. I was 14, about to turn 15. Now, I know you may be thinking that I'm really young. It's because I skipped a grade. Because I actually used to be good at school before this whole situation. You know, before I fell into my depression. So let me tell you a little bit about like my school life. I was not popular by any means. I was kind of just like your average person. I had my own friend group. I wasn't really hated by anybody. I did really good in school. I mean, obviously, like, I skipped a grade. But yeah, no, I pretty much had a normal life, except for my home life wasn't too good. My parents were very, very abusive. Not physically, but mentally. So school was like my escape from my home life. Now, aside from me being kind of like the normal neutral person in school, there was like a lot of drama around like my friend group, I would say, but I wasn't really a part of it. I don't know. If it doesn't make sense, it doesn't make sense. Don't ask me. But to cope with everything, I kept a journal. Just writing down my thoughts really helped me process things that would happen in my life. And nobody knew that I had this journal, and I would take it everywhere with me because it was not safe at my home. Because if my parents or my siblings would have found it, it just would have been a whole war zone. Well, the one day I'm at school and during gym class, they were pretty much doing maintenance on the locker rooms. So everybody had to keep like their gym bags and everything on the bleachers. And I didn't have a bag specifically for gym. I literally just brought my book bag and would carry that everywhere with me because we were allowed to carry our book bags around school at this time. Whereas now, because of school shootings and everything like that, we're not allowed to. But anyways, my journal was in there. Well, this gym class, it was just starting to get nice outside, so we had to go outside to the field and we left all of our stuff on the bleachers in the gym. Wasn't really worried about it because I didn't think anybody was going to go through my stuff. But after gym, we all went and grabbed our stuff, and that day, everybody who was in that gym class had made pretty much like reports about their stuff missing. Now, I didn't check my bag until like the next period because after that I had art and I didn't really need anything out of my book bag for that. And I was like, oh, well, nobody's really going to go in my bag. I don't have anything special in there. Well, when I got home that day, I realized that my journal is missing. Like, out of all things. Like, you could have took my phone, could have took my beats, you take my journal. That's a low blow on your part. So at this point, I'm freaking out. I'm thinking, OMG, did somebody take it? But then I started thinking logically. I'm like, who the hell would steal my journal? Like, if anything, I probably just left it in somebody's class. So the next day, I get to school and I go to all of my teachers' classrooms in the morning and I start asking if they found a journal anywhere. Nope. Nobody had seen my journal. So then I had went to the principal's office to tell him that my journal was missing out of my book bag, and he pretty much said there's nothing I can do. We're looking into the situation and we're trying to find out who was the one who went around and pretty much stole everybody's shit. So at this point, I'm like, oh, that's great. You know, like, they don't even know who freaking did it yet. Now, I know it was like a day after, but still, you know, you would think they would be checking cameras. But, oh, wait. Oh, yeah, that's right. They did not keep cameras in the gymnasium. Yeah, no, they don't have cameras anywhere apparently. It's like you're literally asking for everybody's shit to get stolen. So a week had passed after that. Nobody had heard anything about anybody's stuff being missing. I mean, there were like 2 kids who got their phones stolen and they were able to find them through like the pinging on like the iPhones, so they got their stuff back. But yeah, so after a week of my journal not turning up anywhere, I decided to go buy a new one. And after a few weeks have passed, they still couldn't find it. I'd hoped that they were gonna find it, but after they didn't, I kind of just thought like, oh, maybe someone was playing like a mean prank or something like that and just going through, grabbing kids' stuff, you know, and just throwing it away, or yeah, I don't really know. So everything had pretty much went back to normal until probably 2 months until school ended. I had gotten tagged on an Instagram post, and the name of this account was my name and then exposed, and they were following a bunch of people from my school. And once you see somebody's name in your school and then exposed after, you're kind of like, oh, what is this? Like, you know how random kids in school will make those exposing pages, you know, and just like post whoever's get around? I don't know if that's happened at anybody else's school, but it happened at mine, and it happened multiple times. Like, weirdos would make these accounts and just like post inappropriate pictures on there, and then the pages would get taken down. Anyways, so the post that I was tagged in was a picture of what I had wrote in my journal. And this was a very personal post, pretty much about what was going on in my home life. I mean, by the time I had clicked on like the thing, there were like 20 pages already posted on there. It wasn't like just one page was posted. No, there were 20 pages whenever I opened up the app. Like, one of the pages that was posted was about how my dad put me on a diet so I wouldn't look like a whale in the summertime, and how whenever everybody was eating dinner at my house, they would all have, you know, a normal meal that my mom made, or they would all be eating out and I would have to eat a salad. Like, I was forced to. I couldn't decide whether I wanted to be skinny or fat. And then there was another page that was posted, and this one just like completely pretty much ruined my school life. So of course, this being my journal, I'm going to write about things that happen in my life or other things that people tell me. One of my best friends had been cheating on her boyfriend with a mutual friend of ours. And I'll read my exact quote. My best friend is cheating on her boyfriend with our mutual friend's boyfriend. I don't know what to do. I'm caught between a rock and a hard place. On one hand, it's my best friend and it's girl code. But then on the other hand, it's about my morals and about the fact that nobody should ever have to go through that. I'm looking for answers. Help. Clearly it was a freaking rhetorical question. Like, I did not have an audience. Now, clearly this was bad for me because our mutual best friend, she would sit at our lunch table, she would hang out with us after school, and her boyfriend was one of our best friends. So I hurry up and I try to call my best friend. She didn't pick up. She did not want to talk to me at all. So I decided not to go to school. Clearly my parents weren't going to let me stay home, so I literally just took the bus and walked to the mall and kind of just hung out at the food court all day until school was over, because I just did not know what the hell to do. Well, eventually I had to go to school, or else my parents were going to get a call and then I was going to get in even more trouble. So in the morning I run into my best friend in the bathroom and I try talking to her there, and she was with a few of our other friends, and I'm like, hey, like, I'm really sorry about what happened. You know, like, my journal got stolen. I didn't know that somebody was gonna go and post about everything. And she was pretty much a bitch. But I mean, I don't know how I would have acted in that situation either. But she was like, to be honest, you're really freaking weird. Who just writes their friends' secrets down in a journal? Like, are you obsessed with me? And I'm like, no, like, that's just how I cope with things. She's like, oh, so you cope with things by writing my personal stuff down in your journal? She was like, is that how you get off at night? Like, your obsession with me is absolutely ridiculous. She was like, to be honest, I don't even feel comfortable being your friend anymore. Okay, so yeah, that's pretty much how that went. And then to make it even better, while we are standing there, I get tagged in another post. And I guess at this point she had like her post notifications on for that Instagram page because her phone went off at the same time mine did. She wasn't even tagged in the post or anything. So you want to talk about who has the real obsession here? Just kidding. And this one was even worse than what had just been posted. Now I know you're thinking, how the heck could it be worse? Because now I had lost all my friends. I was sitting in the bathroom at lunch. Nobody wanted to talk to me. Nobody would literally have conversations around me because they were afraid that I was gonna write it in a journal and then it'd be posted on this random freaking Instagram account. So a little background information on this Instagram post. So the one day I had got to school super late, and the night before I had been up all night arguing with my family. So I didn't really have time to do my homework. So as soon as I got to school that day, I went to the bathroom and started doing my homework in there. Well, one of the popular girls in my school was in there, and this was just about probably right before I had lost my journal, and I heard her throwing up in the bathroom. So I had made some noise in there, kind of just like to let her know that I was in there. Don't really know why, but then I had also like said, hey, are you okay? And as soon as I did that, stops throwing up, walks out of the stall, and just says, mind your fucking business, bitch. So after I finished my homework and went home from school that day, hey guys, future me popping in, trigger warning, we're going to be talking about ED. If you want to skip ahead, I will put the timestamp somewhere right here. I wrote in my journal that either I thought this girl was pregnant or she was bulimic. Was that right on my part? No, definitely not. But this girl was really petite and it could have been. I mean, that's just what I thought. And yeah, that is the page that was posted. After that, I would say I was pretty hated by everybody because everybody thought that I was making fun of her for either being pregnant or being bulimic, when really that was not the case at all. I was just saying what I thought, like it's my journal. Like I didn't say, oh, she's bulimic. No, I said, I think she might be bulimic or pregnant. So yeah, no, pretty much I was hated by the whole school. And I had got called into the principal's office that day for bullying. And because this was so serious and she actually did have an eating disorder, I got suspended. And I had to write her a handwritten apology because I pretty much outed her eating disorder to everybody. Not even my fault. Which later on I had got a Snapchat from her that day of her throwing my apology letter into the trash can and saying fuck your apology. I didn't take offense though because now everybody knew. So pretty much after this kept happening, I went into a very, very, very bad depression. I wouldn't eat. I would not sleep. I did not want to go to school anymore. I was very badly falling behind in school. My grades were super bad, pretty much because I would just like hang out in the bathroom during school and not even go to class because there would be comments being made about me and just a lot of things that I was not mentally strong enough to deal with. My parents had found the Instagram page and they hated me even more than they did before now. Like they pretty much blew off the whole part where I had talked about all the shitty things that they did to me and pretty much only talked about the fact that I had outed this girl's eating disorder and how this is why I have no friends because I'm weird. Another trigger warning, self-harm. I will put a timestamp down below again. At this point I had started cutting. It was the only way that I felt like I had control. Eventually, the only good thing my parents ever did for me was put me in therapy. But my therapist pretty much just said that I was the problem every single time. Every single time. I told her about the fact that my journal had got out and she did not care. She was like, well, like, why were you writing people's secrets down in your journal? I don't know, Linda. I don't know. So the one day my guidance counselor had called me into her office to talk about how terrible I was doing in school. And when she asked me what was wrong, I kind of just broke down. I told her about the Instagram page, I told her about the journal, I told her about my ED, my self-harming. And she was like, well, have you went to the principal about this? And I was like, no, because I literally got freaking suspended for something that wasn't even my fault. So she pretty much just looked at me like I was freaking dumb. the principal really didn't know about the Instagram page. I had never told him. Neither did the other girl. She pretty much just said that I had outed her to everybody and stuff. She never mentioned anything about posting or Instagram or anything like that. So my guidance counselor called the principal into her office also, and she pretty much was like, okay, like, tell him everything that you just told me. Once I had pretty much told him everything, he just looked at me like I was an idiot. He was like, you know, if you would have came to us whenever all this stuff was happening, we would have been able to find out who had stolen everybody's stuff, who was posting all this stuff much sooner. But by this time, all the damage had already been done to my life, so what was this gonna do? So I was like, oh, like, what do you mean? And he's like, you know, we'll contact the authorities. And so it was a Friday that day, by the way, and I was also grounded for like 4 months straight. So that Monday I had been called into the principal's office, and he pretty much just told me, we found out who stole everybody's stuff, who was posting on this account on social media. Their parents have been contacted. They both have been suspended. And I was like, well, can you tell me who the hell it was? Like, who just ruined my whole life? They were like, no, we have to keep that confidential. We can't tell who it was. Like, a lot of people's secrets were outed on that Instagram page, like, including my own, and yet they couldn't tell me who the hell orchestrated this whole thing. So the Instagram page was taken down, and after that I pretty much just had to live with the consequences of trust your own family. So everybody pretty much in school still hated me. I did end up becoming friends with my best friend again. It was not at all how our friendship used to be. I know you're probably thinking that it's worse, but it actually had gotten better. Except for the fact that anytime she told me anything, she would be like, you're not gonna write this in your journal, are you? No, I don't keep a journal anymore. Anytime that I think about writing down my thoughts or anything, I literally get PTSD from everything that had happened my sophomore year. But my parents still hated me. Not a surprise, they always have. But eventually my guidance counselor, she had taken a look at the Instagram and she did start to look into my family issues and about how my mental health was not that great. So somebody had started calling CPS, and I know it was low-key her, but like, she wasn't gonna say that it was her, because unlike a lot of school guidance counselors, this one actually had cared about my well-being and everything. And eventually my parents got tired of them coming to the house, so they just sent me to live with my grandmother. So in a way, things did start to get better, but it was very, very rough during that whole time. Like, you know those things that happen when you're a teenager where you think like you're never gonna get over it and it's just like gonna spiral down from that, like your life is never gonna get better? That was pretty much where I was at in life. But yeah, no, when I moved to my grandma's, I actually had taken all of my old journals, because every time that I would fill one up, I would just get a new one from the school because they had like extra notebooks and stuff like that. The one night we had a fire outside and it was getting pretty late, and my grandma was like, oh, do you want to stay out here and just like, you know, put out the fire whenever you're ready to come in? I was like, yeah, that's fine. While I was sitting there, I decided that I wanted to burn every single journal that I had, even though I had always liked the idea of having them around, so that way, you know, whenever I got older, I could possibly show my kids and just be like, listen, you know, like I went through hard times too. But at that point, I was like, fuck a journal. Okay, everybody, so that is the end of today's story time. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. And if you guys want to see more of me, maybe hit that subscribe button down below. And my posting schedule has been a wreck lately, so if you want to know whenever I post my next video, make sure to hit that post notifications button to see whenever I post my next video. And if you guys would like to send in your anonymous story time, make sure to click the link down below and submit your story time to have a chance for it to be on my YouTube or on my TikTok. If you guys would like to keep up with me and stuff that I'm doing, all my social medias will be linked down below. And I love you guys, and I will see you next time.